on the very latest with this for us. John?
Harris, good afternoon to you. This morning, DHS's Cyber Security and Infrastructure Security Agency, together with the FBI, pointed a very big finger at China in terms of trying to hack our research organizations who are looking into coronavirus. In a public service announcement, they were warning U.S. organizations who are researching coronavirus that they are likely being targeted by Chinese government cyber hackers. The agency's charging that China is trying to steal research information on the virus treatments and vaccines. In its public advisory, the agency's warning researchers to secure their network, saying, quote, "These actors have been observed attempting to identify and illicitly obtain valuable intellectual property and public health data related to vaccines, treatments, and testing. The potential theft of this information jeopardizes the delivery of secure, effective, and efficient treatment options." President Trump has been very critical of China for not being forthcoming about the origins of the pandemic. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham has introduced a bill to impose sanctions on China if it fails to cooperate and provide a full accounting of the events leading up to the pandemic. Georgia Congressman Doug Collins on that earlier this morning on Fox. Listen here.
China deceived the world while people were dying. They were taking precautions inside their own borders while yet letting people go internationally. It is time for an independent investigation led by the U.S. and others to make sure that they, number one, going forward, what actually happened, and we hold them accountable. The Chinese officials who did this, they need to be in a position where they can be sanctioned, where they can be their assets frozen. Those are the kind of things that we look at.
Is using the economic impact of the pandemic to try to get a better trade deal with the United States than the one that it agreed to last year. The president saying he is not interested in reopening negotiations, at least not at this point. And the president tightening the screws even further, directing the Federal Retirement Thrift Board to not invest in any stock funds that have ties to Chinese companies. That means that about $4.5 billion that might have gone into stock funds that have interests in China will stay in other investments, likely the United States. But the president clearly indicating again, Harris, in so many different ways, just how unhappy he is with China about all of this, though he has and still remains to be very, very cautious about actually criticizing China's president, Xi Jinping. Harris?
Bring in Andy.